Welcome to the Private Practice Startup Podcast, where we help mental health professionals grow their dream practices and live a life they love. We chat with successful private practitioners, business coaches, and marketing experts, bringing you tons of practice building tips. We invite you to take advantage of our private practice paperwork and our signature marketing e-course. And we have a gift for you. This is the exact methodology we use to create our six-figure private pay practices and have helped many other therapists do the same. Go to privatepracticestartup.com and on the homepage, click the button to download a free copy of your dream private practice playbook. Now on to today's episode.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Private Practice Startup Podcast. We hope you are doing fantastic today. And we're glad that you joined us. If you're a loyal listener, welcome back. We have definitely crossed our 7 years in podcasting, which is crazy to think. And if you're brand new to us, thanks so much for joining us. We have over 300 podcasts for you to binge on, nosh on, listen to. You can do it like Netflix, or you can listen one at a time, and you can actually go to our quick reference podcast guide and even search podcasts by topic. So that's on our website at privatepracticestartup.com. So today we're talking to Kelley Sonnenberg, Billing Director of Practice Solutions. And we're going to be talking about 4 common billing mistakes. But before I introduce her, we hope that you all joined us last week as we spoke to Gabrielle, and we talked about a topic many of you are interested in, which is scaling to sell your private practice. And maybe you're not interested in it at this moment, but you might be interested in it in the future. So definitely check that out, or at least bookmark that podcast so you can come back to it. Kelley Sonnenberg started in 2017 as Practice Solutions' first billing specialist, working hands-on with providers to manage their billing before moving into her current role as billing director, where she manages teams of billers and supervises all billing work. Her experience as a biller gave her the knowledge, skills, and passion to help expand the company, resulting in helping hundreds of mental health providers. Kelley's passion for travel led her to live her dream as a digital nomad for a year abroad while working for Practice Solutions. She's traveled to 22 countries in 2019. Wow. Gaining an array of cultural experiences and a unique perspective on global healthcare. She hopes to empower providers to gain the confidence and knowledge to take on insurance billing. Wow. Well, welcome, Kelley. That's pretty extraordinary.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here. Excited to have you. Well, before we dive in and ask about those 22 countries, let's just take a quick moment for our sponsor. As a private practice owner, there are dozens of things to worry about. If you decide to accept insurance billing does not have to be a worry. Practice Solutions is a remote billing company who connects providers with billers in the U.S. who specialize in mental health billing. Their expertise has helped clinicians increase and maintain steady revenue by submitting and following up on claims regularly, resolving old aging claims, and performing eligibility and benefit checks. With Practice Solutions, you're assigned a billing expert who learns the ins and outs of your practice, functioning as an extension of your own team, so you can focus on what matters most, your clients and growing your practice. One of Practice Solutions' current clients says, Practice Solutions has been amazing for my practice, its growth, and my peace of mind when it comes to billing. Practice Solutions works with clients ranging from solo practitioners just starting out, as well as to larger group practices with multiple clinicians. Practice Solutions offers a free billing consultation to determine if their services are a good fit for you and your practice. Visit practicesoul.com/startupnation and schedule an appointment. Again, that's a free consultation at practicesoul.com/startupnation.
22 countries right before the pandemic hit. That could not have been better timing on your part.
It really worked out perfectly. I actually did it to start working remotely for the company and kind of practicing how that would work. And then when I came back in 2020, and we had actually went remote, the whole company, back in the end of 2019 because of my travels, and I proved we can do this remotely. So when COVID hit, we were remote and it was perfect. And yeah, that was a trip of a lifetime.
Wow. So you did that all in 1 year?
Yeah, 1 year. I just packed up my bag and I traveled just nonstop for the whole year consistently.
How cool. Where were some of the places that you went to?
So I started in Asia and I did most of Southeast Asia and then Europe and Mexico. So I did the main three big places there and all 22 countries in there. And it was amazing. I think one of my favorite places is probably Thailand. I loved it there, the beaches.
That's awesome. Very cool. Very cool experiences and how perfectly set up, like you said, like, you showed this could work even before it was forced on us and you guys were already, working remotely and it was just an easy transition. Very cool. Very cool stuff. What was one of your most interesting cultural experiences visiting those 22 countries?
I would probably have to say I was in Laos, which is a small country in Southeast Asia, and we were in a place where there was probably no English at all. And so that was really difficult to get through and just eating at restaurants and knowing what you're ordering. You never really knew. So those were some fun cultural experiences, but I like things like that. You never know what you're going to expect.
And did you travel by yourself or with someone else or people join you along the way?
Yeah, exactly. People joined me along the way. Once people heard that I was going, I had probably 6 different friends meet me in countries they had been wanting to go to. So I always had a buddy at some point.
That's super cool. Anyways, I know that this is not a podcast about traveling experiences, but you piqued our interest. We're talking about billing mistakes today. So we're always curious, Kelley. A lot of times people are attracted to the therapeutic field or mental health field for a reason, or they just feel called to work with therapists, or maybe not. Just wondering if you had a story there.
I'm sorry. I don't understand the question.
No, it's okay. I was just saying that a lot of times when we work with companies that serve clinicians and things like that, a lot of times they, usually have a story of why they feel called to work for therapists, or it feels like they're calling to support them in some way, or sometimes not.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was definitely always called to not necessarily a mental health field, but I was in school for nursing. And so I always knew I wanted to help people. And I kind of found out through that I didn't want to work directly one-on-one with patients, but I wanted to help those that did. And that kind of led me to where I am now in the mental health field. I feel like is very rewarding, even though I'm not the one directly with the patients. The fact that I can help providers clear up the time and really focus on their patients, we're helping kind of in the background of things. And that's why I love what I do.
Yeah, and that's so important. And I know even the days before, like electronic billing and things like that, when therapists are filling out paper billing, and if they missed a period or this or that, it's all their time being taken away really from clients, or extra time that they've had to do, working, on the business, just trying to get paid. So I love that. You love supporting the clinicians so that they can focus on what they do best.
Yep, exactly.
So tell us some of these common mistakes when it comes to billing.
Yeah, so we narrowed it down to 4 because I'm sure I could go on all day about a million mistakes you could make. I think taking insurance can always sound scary at first. And, once you kind of narrow down and get the hang of things, it's easier. So the 4 main ones that we were able to narrow down, the first one here is working with too many insurance companies. A lot of times when providers decide they're going to take on insurance, they might think it's more advantageous to go and just panel with 5 or 10 payers and get all of them under your belt so that you can reach more patients. But really, in hindsight, that ends up becoming a lot more work, both administratively and billing. And you're not really narrowed in and focused on what patients you want to help. Because with each payer is different. So each insurance company with the nuances of billing modifiers, even who they allow to contract with them. And so we really recommend focusing just on 1 or 2 big payers that you want. So say, as a provider, you really want to help veterans. So you would probably go panel with TRICARE or some that would really direct, and so that you have a focus and clear strategy on what patients you want to help. Or you can also look at, who has the biggest reimbursement rates around and, who has the highest population in your area. But really just taking a couple payers right off the bat is probably most successful because you really get to know those payers the best and you can really work out the nuances. And then as you grow, you can add on more and more. But our most successful clinicians are definitely those that start out with just a couple of the big ones.
I really appreciate that feedback because, Kate and I, we work with a lot of clinicians who are either deciding to move off insurance panels or just wanting to do private pay. And we always talk about niching down. And so I love that you even bring this concept to when it even comes with insurance billing, because one of the things that's so important is the systems. And when you're working with different payers, it's like you said, you have to learn their process and their systems and what they want and what they don't want and what they accept and what they don't accept. And when you're working with so many, that's a lot to learn. Over time, sure, you can master it. But I really like the concept of just adding a few, at least initially, and maybe you expand into a different niche or area or things like that. So that's great feedback.
Yeah.
What's another common mistake?
And especially for the aspect of keeping your passion alive, and really staying true to who you're called to serve. And that's probably something that a lot of people don't realize that is an option when using, when you're going the insurance route, that you don't necessarily have to be a full-blown generalist, that you can work with specific panels that are geared towards more specific populations.
Yeah, yep, exactly. And so the next point here, mistake that we see is not completing clinical notes in a timely manner. So this is a big one that we actually see a lot. And it's really unfortunate because the providers are taking the time to see their patients and they're doing the work on that end. But if the clinician is not writing in their clinical notes, as a biller, we're not able to submit the claim to insurance companies. And so there are timely filing constraints with each payer. And each payer is different, but some payers, timely filing is after 60 days, some is a year. So if you don't submit that claim within that time frame, they'll deny it, no questions asked. And so we like to make sure that the clinicians have a process for getting in their clinical notes on a regular basis. I like to recommend either taking 10 minutes after each session to put them in, or having an admin day once a week to get those all in. Because the quicker you get your notes in, the quicker your biller can submit the claims, and then you can get paid. So it's all going to be a long process. And that's just one thing that we see a lot is providers can get behind on notes. And once you get behind, it's really hard to catch back up, as I'm sure a lot of you know. And so just having a good process off the bat is really helpful, and making sure you're getting reimbursed for all of the hard work that you have put in.
So true. And that is like the bane of therapist existence. Many of them, some are great, but it is those notes, and really just making it part of a process or a system is so very important. And I like that you suggest even an admin day, like an admin time or admin day where you're not answering emails or the phone, you're just doing your billing or other admin work, or, when we talk about business building, working on your business. So just like you would schedule that is also scheduling in this time. And the other thing too, when we talk about this, is it's important for good quality client care, because if you're so backed up on notes, you might have the brain and memory of an elephant, amazing, but most often we don't. And we can start mixing client stories and things like that. And if we're using our notes to jog our memory of what happened last session, it could be detrimental to client care. So get those notes in, because you all deserve to get paid well.
Exactly. Yes, the work has been done. The hard part was done. So yeah, exactly. We want those notes. And it can also too, it can be a requirement of your contract with an insurance payer. Sometimes they do require, get those notes in. So yeah, you just want to make sure you're on top of that. That's really important.
Nice. Let's just take a quick moment for our sponsor. As a therapist, I can tell you from experience that having the right EHR is an absolute lifeline. I recommend using Therapy Notes. They make billing, scheduling, note-taking, telehealth, and e-prescribing incredibly easy. Best of all, they offer live telephone support that's available 7 days a week. Look, don't take my word for it. Do your own research. Therapy Notes is the #1 highest rated EHR available today, with 4.9 out of 5 stars on Trustpilot and Google. Go to therapynotes.com and enter code PPS, as in private practice startup, and receive a special 2-month trial, absolutely free. And hey, if you're coming from another EHR, no worries. Therapy Notes will import your demographic data quick and easy at no cost to you, so you can get started right away. Trust me, don't waste any more of your time. Go to therapynotes.com and enter code PPS for your 2-month free trial.
Directories can be a good source for new clients, but which directories are really worth it? Well, according to an extensive review of therapist directories by Very Well Mind, more than 90% of therapists recommend Mental Health Match. We love Mental Health Match because they understand that the therapeutic relationship starts even before the client contacts you. They've set up their directory to give clients a sense of confidence in you as a clinician and connection with you as a person. Their smart matching technology makes sure you only hear from clients who are a good fit for your practice. And referrals come with insightful information about the client, their presenting problems, and what they seek in a therapist. With over 10,000 clients coming every week, Mental Health Match is a great way to find the clients you want. Erin Moore, a New Jersey therapist, said, "I've been getting almost 2 referrals a week from Mental Health Match, and I like their ability to match me with my niche clients. These clients reflect my skill sets, and they come ready and open to the therapeutic process. This is energizing for both the therapist and clients. We could not agree more. And now you can try Mental Health Match for free for 90 days. Just go to mentalhealthmatch.com and use referral code STARTUP. That's mentalhealthmatch.com and referral code STARTUP."
So what is mistake number 3 to avoid?
Mistake number 3 is not having the proper team. And this is all too dependent on the size of your practice. But the 4 proper team members for a good sized practice and as you grow is first an admin assistant. This person's in taking client forms, insurance cards, scheduling, your biller. We're the ones focusing on claims, denial management, aging, an accountant, and a credentialer. And sometimes when providers are just starting off, some of these roles can be merged into one. So, if a provider just has a few patients right off the bat, they can do the scheduling and the intake paperwork, and some might try and do billing on their own as well. Providers can also credential themselves. They don't necessarily need a credentialer. But I think the important thing to note here is that a biller and an accountant are very different. I think we get confused a lot as accountants, especially come tax season. But we're different than an accountant, different credentials, and we're more focused on the claims and the denial management, where your accountant is reconciling bank statements, doing taxes and things like that. And especially as your practice grows, having the proper team in place and knowing each role and what they fill is important. And like I said, when you're small, you might be able to do a couple things, like an admin might do some credentialing. But an accountant and a biller will probably always be different.
And I think that's, an important distinction to make. And it's kind of like the biller helps you get the money and the accountant helps you reduce the, increase the expenses, reduce the taxes, all that stuff, and really look at your whole financial picture.
Yeah, exactly. And I think a lot of times too, your EHR, your electronic health record, whatever it may be, it gets confused with an accounting tool a lot.
Oh.
So a lot of times providers will use that and it's not lining up with, their 1099s. And, it's really important to note that your EHR is for claims and insurance billing, and you need a separate accounting software too. And so just really making that distinction between each role and what softwares too you need for those.
Right. Gotcha. What's another common mistake?
Yeah, so our 4th common mistake here is assuming that everything happens overnight with a click of a button. As many of us know, insurance takes time. From the minute you go to credential, that can be a 3 to 9 month process. You never, it can be quick, and then sometimes it can take a year. And so just to get credentialed is going to be a process. And then once you get credentialed, from seeing your first patient, doing your notes to claim submission is also a process. So when we as billers go in and submit your claims, it takes maybe 2 to 4 weeks sometimes for that claim to process and for you to see that reimbursement rate. And so too, it depends how frequently you're submitting claims. And if the patient has secondaries, then it could take a few months for you to see the full reimbursement. And especially too, if you have a larger practice or a practice that you've already been seeing insurance clients, and there's a lot of denials, and we kind of take over as billers, and say you have a lot of aging. It takes us a while to get down that aging and to really work on those denials and to get everything sorted. I like to say it's like a big ball of yarn that we're just slowly untying when you have a lot of claim and aging. And so everything with insurance is going to take time, and just to be patient and to have a good relationship with your biller, to trust them and know that they're fighting these battles for you with the insurance company so that you guys don't have to. And that, we do everything we can, but at the end of the day, the insurance company is going to take time for things to happen.
And what are some of the common reasons that insurance companies do reject the claims?
Yeah, that's a great question. So there's millions of reasons why claims reject. It can be anything from it was submitted to the wrong payer. So a lot of times if a client, you might say they have Blue Cross Blue Shield, but really it's a certain carve out of that, because each payer has different carve outs and different payers underneath of them. So it might be sent to the wrong payer and we have to send that to a different one. Or maybe the CPT code wasn't accepted and it wasn't a valid one that you're contracted with. It could be a credentialing issue if your NPI isn't matching up in their system. There's a lot of different denial reasons. And that's why it's important too, as you grow, to have a biller to be able to catch those, because it's not easy to just look at a denied reason. They don't make it simple. It's denied for this. We have to call, spend an hour on the phone and talk to them about it and figure out why.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are worth your weight in gold. I remember, and I'm glad this is over. It went on for like 6 months. I had blood work done and I had a new insurance. So I actually called the insurance company before I got the blood work done. Of course, they were pointing the finger like, well, Quest determines that. And then Quest is like, no, your insurance determines that. I'm like, it's a lie. The insurance determines that. Like, I know enough about insurance to know that you guys set the rates. I'm like, I need to know like what, it was like, okay, great. So I had the blood work submitted and literally it was a whole 6-month process. They ended up sending me to collections, even though I was calling them like each time and documenting everything because, one hand didn't know what the other hand was doing. And by the third round, the person from the insurance, and they should have told me this in the beginning. They're like, oh, well, it got denied. And I'm like, how do I know that? She goes, it's written on the bottom. I go, no, it's not. It says codes. And I'm like, you guys don't make it easy for people. And like, here you are sending me to potential collections because you're not communicating. So you guys are worth your weight in gold because, navigating all that stuff. And you guys are experts on that and understanding it and helping therapists so they don't have to. It was like probably literally like 7 hours of my life going back and forth. And then this, being sent to collections hanging over my head is just like, oh. So,
such a headache.
I like to say it's a whole nother language.
Oh, yes, it is. It is. And you're right. They do not make it easy at all. Awesome, Kelley. So what do you want our listeners to most take away from your message today?
I would love for everyone to take away that insurance is not as scary as you may think. And that I want everyone to have the confidence to be able to take on insurance billing and clients, whether it's by yourself or to reach out to a biller, to have the confidence to be able to do that and use the resources too that we have.
Awesome. Cool stuff. And I know that you have a giveaway for our audience. What is that?
Yes. Our giveaway is we are offering a free billing consultation with one of our representatives at Practice Solutions. So you'll be able to talk to one of our consultants and figure out if, we're the right fit, if you should start taking insurance and any questions you might have for us.
Awesome. And you guys can get that either at practicesol.com/startupnation, or just go to the show notes page of this podcast episode. And I know that you guys have a lot of great resources about insurance billing, tips, tricks, things like that, on your website at practicesol.com, under the blog section. So definitely check that out. If you have a question about insurance billing, check that out. But I'm just going to recommend that you guys call Practice Solutions. Just make your life a lot more easy. Kelley said it best, focus on what you love to do, which is really serving your clients, and let them help you get paid for what you do. So Kelley, thanks so much for being here. We greatly appreciate your area of expertise on this subject matter. And we appreciate you guys.
Thank you so much.
Yes. And Startup Nation, we hope you found this episode to be helpful. And as always, we love to hear from you. If there's an episode we have not had on our 327 episodes, please let us know. And we want to encourage you to subscribe, rate, and review the show as well. Share with your fellow friends and colleagues, and help us to be able to help more clinicians, help more people across the globe so that we can all be happier and healthier together. All right. We'll see you next time, everybody. Take care.
Take care.
Thanks for joining us on The Private Practice Startup. Visit theprivatepracticestartup.com for awesome resources, free trainings, attorney-approved private practice paperwork, and so much more.